اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه السلام.
I seek refuge in Allah from Satan, the outcast. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. This is to discuss criticisms to our video number 1 in our series of 5 videos about the crucifixion. The criticisms are from the web page by Deepwaters, etc. The link is in our footnote. We are extremely thankful to Allah for that page, as it confirms many of our points, especially viewing that it comes from Christian apologists themselves. We saved a copy of the web page on our website in the same directory where this script is located, www.muhaddith.org/crucifixion. We're glad to be of help, assisting them in preserving the truth about their document's original contents. They wrote, "The writers of this work, i.e. our video, happen to be anonymous, and the authors of their work itself is unnamed, and on their webpage about the music in the video one sees this, Theme Nasheed by unnamed group from Morocco." Firstly, the subtitle was showing in large print from minute 111 till minute 123, prepared by Orfan Rabat, with my face also showing on the screen. This blunder undermines the reliability of their whole discussion and quotations. They definitely did not exert the proper attention befitting this topic so serious and important for them. Yet we will not dismiss that article altogether. We will discuss a few points here, plus some more in our footnotes. Secondly, how can they equate their own scriptures with a theme nasheed, a chant? This proves our point that for Christian apologists, the requirement for authenticity is the same for a theme chant as well as for their holy scriptures. How can one equate a theme chant with sacred scriptures supposed to report historical facts, sacred scriptures forming the foundations of a creed? This point answers our question in video number 1 about whether the Gospels are witness accounts or mere storytelling, and we can add here, or mere chants. Thirdly, of most importance, our discussion is not a testimony requiring truthfulness, memory, etc. Our discussion is a group of logical arguments, and the strength of any argument is intrinsic. It is either correct or false on its own merit. It doesn't become stronger or weaker depending on the speaker. Failing to recognize this obvious distinction ironically reveals the total logical disarray of our critics. As for chants, the case is worse. Chants are not testimonies nor arguments. Neither reliability nor proper logic are required for chants. They act as if they did not read why the anonymous nature of the New Testament authors makes them untrustworthy. Well, we did mention that we need to know every author's affiliations, his truthfulness, his ability to memorize, to properly witness an event, etc. Knowing that a culture was used to anonymous authors doesn't cut it. It does not magically make them reliable in the above subjects. It is not just to nitpick about who the authors were. It is to analyze what they were in order to find if their words actually represent the truth. This is how we treat our own texts, and this is how we treat theirs. But this additional oversight is not strange, viewing the low level of attention they exerted in their whole discussion such as their illusion about authors of our work being anonymous. Most importantly, our focus here is not academic, to haggle about why the gospel writers were anonymous, how customary it was to have anonymous writers back then, and why it was so, whereby Christian apologists try to appease skeptics among their followers. Our focus is about how we act upon such documents, their practical effects on my current and future everlasting life. If you find 4 leaflets claiming to have authority but yet anonymous, instructing you to sign over all your material ownerships to some third party, would you execute these instructions? We believe that creed and everlasting life are more important than material possessions. So how can we commit our creed and everlasting life based on 4 anonymous texts? This is without even considering that these leaflets were full of contradictions, gaps, insertions, deletions, and so on. How much are we willing to commit based on such anonymous documents? They wrote, one early fragment cited is the size of a credit card. What's their source of their contention with this? It's Wikipedia. And they wrote, especially since a number of times Wikipedia is cited as their source. Yes, we cited Wikipedia concerning points that are obviously correct to facilitate matters for the viewer. So is Wikipedia falsifying? Is the picture of P52 falsified? Was P52 a humongous document whereby we colluded with Wikipedia to misrepresent it as a small fragment? P52 is a known papyrus, cited by no other than James White in his debate with Sami Zaatari. So why not prove us wrong and provide proof from any museum that it was larger than a credit card? And is it a virtue for Mr. White to throw the name at us with no references?
We have a number of papyri. Have you ever examined P52? P75? P66? Have you ever examined P52?
Is it a virtue for Mr. White to throw the name at us with no references? But it's a defect for us to fill the gap that he left? A defect to scrutinize his claims using a reference easily accessible to all? Or is it advantageous for Christian apologists to keep their sources nebulous, to keep their claims nebulous, whereby their objection against Wikipedia diverts their followers' attention from the issue being discussed? The papyrus confidently cited by James White being actually no larger than a credit card. That's the issue. They complain that our quotes from Wikipedia were cut and pasted. Well, here they are correct. In the age of word processors, the most faithful way we found to quote a text is by cutting and pasting. Are they suggesting a better way? Do they prefer the way described by Mr. White in our first video, to provide our own perspective, depending on our own intentions, depending on our own audience?
That each author has his own intention and his own audience and why he includes certain things, providing you with a historical perspective on what happened in the past.
Yes, we are guilty as charged. We do not misquote, alter, manipulate, interject, forge, and disfigure. We faithfully cut and paste, and they consider it a defect. And they mention Martin Hengel's suggestion that the original works would have included the author's name somewhere. Hengel could be wrong, of course. Emphasis is ours. Here again they prove our point, that their creed is based on suggestions and suppositions. Would have included, quote-unquote. Could be wrong, quote-unquote. This confirms the Quran's description in Surah 4, Ayah 157, conjecture. Yes, they would have included or wouldn't have included. They tried to defend the air of omniscience of the Gospels. Who shadowed Jesus to report him being carried by Satan from mountain to mountain? Their answer, maybe Jesus himself told them. Notice the word maybe. This proves our point again, that Christian apologists build their creed on conjecture. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe also that was falsified or altered. Who shadowed Judas? Their answer, Joseph of Arimathea or Nicodemus could have both had knowledge of the event. Notice the words, could have. Yes, they could have, and they could have not. This proves our point one more time, that Christian apologists build their creed on conjecture. The above discussion suffices to prove that it is the creed and not the truth nor correct logic that guides their argument. The creed must be correct. Therefore, all the following should be acceptable. Anonymous authors would have included, maybe, and so on. That's not deducing the creed from the evidence. That's deducing the evidence from the creed. It's the creed that forces what the evidence should be. Wassalamu alaikum.